Hey Callum, I'm Dr. Karen. Thanks for writing in. As a fellow Chihuahua parent, I completely understand the frustration of keeping these tiny creatures clean indoors. I know from personal experience that many of the tried and true toilet training techniques do not always work with Chihuahuas, but that doesn't mean that you have to accept carpet poops as a way of life. One of the issues which you've correctly identified is to do with anxiety. Living in a world where virtually everything and everyone is bigger than you are means that Chihuahuas will often resort to alternative methods of protecting themselves, whether it be an overly aggressive front or using odours to their advantage. Sigan may be using the scent of her poop as a sort of passive-aggressive way of asserting herself, letting other dogs know that this is her home. Another issue for the small dog is that the outside world can be a pretty frightening place, and dogs tend to have really long memories when it comes to things that are scary or they didn't like. And one of the most vulnerable positions a dog can be in, aside from sleeping, is when they are pooping. They are completely exposed, and it's actually why a lot of dogs will often make eye contact with their owners whilst they're going to the toilet. They're just checking to make sure you've got their back. So if Sigan has had maybe a negative or scary experience when she's been outside going to the toilet, she's going to be more reluctant to do it that way. And that brings us to another challenge when it comes to house training the Chihuahua: their size. Now, if a Labrador or a Great Dane was to poop in the corner of the lounge room, you'd definitely notice. But when it's a 5-pound little pup, you mightn't see it until you spot the offending nuggets later on. So you miss the opportunity to interrupt them and redirect them where you want them to go. So essentially, they might be having a neutral or even a negative experience going to the toilet outside, or positive if you're there to actually praise them and reward them for going. But inside, a lot of the time, they're just having a neutral experience. They poop indoors and nothing really happens as a result. So we've got a multi-factor problem, so we need a multi-factor approach. So here's what we're going to try. As much as you can, exclude her from the places that she tends to like to poop indoors, and use a good enzymatic cleaner to really eradicate any trace of where she's been going to the toilet inside. Improve her sense of calm and well-being in the house by using maybe supplements, some calming pheromones, or even providing her with a crate that she can just use as her little safe zone, a little safe bedroom. Anything that you can do to make her feel more safe and secure in her home, so that she doesn't feel like she has to resort to alternative methods to protect it. I'd like you to create a nice safe latrine area outside where she can poop without fear of being attacked or interrupted. Although some dogs are quite happy pooping when they're out on a walk, other dogs prefer to do it from the safety of home. So making her a little corner with some fencing, hedges or screens where she's going to feel like she's safe is going to be a great way to encourage her to actually go to the toilet outside if she feels like that's just as safe as going inside. So encourage her to use this area by kind of going back to the basics of puppy toilet training. So taking her out 30 minutes after she's had a meal, waiting patiently till she does a business, and then going overboard with the praise or even some treats when she uses the new toilet area. If you do catch her going to the toilet indoors, interrupt with a single sharp no, and take her out to your new toilet area. Don't get angry if you find evidence later, because that's only going to increase her anxiety. You know that with Chihuahuas, they are particularly sensitive to being yelled at, so that will only make matters worse. Be calm, be consistent, and stick with these steps, and hopefully Sigan will start to change her ways. If you're still having trouble getting on top of the issue, and it may be several weeks or even months before you start to see some real change, do head to pangovet.com. You can actually book an online appointment with one of the vets to talk about this one-on-one. I've also attached some links for some more information to help you out with the toilet training and some anxiety. I really hope this helps. Good luck.